Hello, brothers and sisters. This is Krista coming to you from the Pacific Northwest, coming to share a story that happened yesterday that is interesting, and I want to share it with you to protect yourself and your family when you're buying food in an open market. I have a pretty strong sense of discernment, and I arrived at a large grocery store chain. It's kind of known for some organic food. I don't want to say its name. And I arrived at 10:30 in the morning looking for breakfast, but they had just put out lunch in the hot food section, hot food, salad, soups, everything was already out. And so I was like, okay, fine. But I noticed before going to the store, there was a woman getting out of a vehicle, and she went into the store as well. And she was in front of me, and she went into the hot bar. And basically, she walked around with no cart and no basket, and basically just walked around slowly, and every single section just looked at the food, touched the soup ladle, looked at the soup, looked at the pasta. And I knew in my spirit she was cursing the food, that she was practicing some sort of witchcraft. And so I started walking around blessing the food. And I even said something to her like, doesn't this look good? And looked at her in the eye, and she, responded, sort of in a nice manner. And I decided I would have lunch at 10:30 because I was really hungry. And she continued to slowly walk around and look at the food. And I continued blessing the food. And the miracle in this is when I got to the register, I said something to the checkout guy. I said, I was looking for breakfast, but this is fine. This will do. And at the end, he comped my lunch. And this was all after blessing the food. So I just want to say that little totally unexpected miracle. Wasn't expecting that nice gesture, but that was super sweet. And I sat down to eat in like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And I'm in my car after that, and took what was left with me. And the woman came out of the store that I witnessed walking around, and she was empty-handed. She basically went into the store to curse the food. And so I would just say to everyone, if you're going into a store and you're buying food from an open air thing, or you're buying produce that's not sealed, packaged, just come and bring everything into your home and bless it before you bring it to the home. Bless everything you eat. You'll be fine. But I would just strongly encourage you to do that. And I also strongly encourage everyone to have a strong covering, the full armor of God. Protect your kids. Actually, right now, if I were a Christian, I try not to even bring my kids. I don't have kids, but I would try not to bring my kids to the grocery store with me because of what I'm witnessing and this sort of intensity building towards Christians right now. I would use strong discernment if you can leave your kids with a spouse or not. I mean, you'll be fine, but I just want to say that. Then as I was driving home, I saw kids on a playground, and I was just really inspired to continue blessing. And so I was blessing the kids, blessing our future, blessing them on the playground. And it really stuck with me that we can be blessing more things that we see as we go about our day. I know we're supposed to keep our minds in prayer and on the Lord and seek his face, but we can also be blessing as we go about our day, as we're driving, as we're in the car, doing things that don't require, ton of other attention besides keeping our eyes on the road. I just related to that, I just got really convicted and heard a talk today by Dr. William Schonblen. I'm sorry, I'm butchering his last name. But he was talking about Christians not using the warfare prayers and Psalms when you're coming up against enemies in the flesh, empty vessel being used by the enemy. and not to be using those prayers against them, because that is practicing a form of witchcraft. To say, God said this, and I'm praying this, against my enemies. And that really resonated for me. I think blessing those who curse you, doing good to those who spitefully use and persecute you. That's what we've been called to do in the New Testament. And I think that will quench all the fiery darts of the wicked one. And so that's all I have for you today. I just want to share my day yesterday and what I witnessed. And I pray that this blesses you and that you remain blessed and protected always.